Hello students, now we will be discussing the constitutional provisions which are meant for children, aged and disabled in our country. Let us discuss about the constitutional provisions for children. As a part of fundamental rights, there are certain provisions which are meant for children. Article 14, the state should not deny any person equality. All the people are treated equally before the law, and it is going to provide equal protection of laws within the society. Article 15 says that the people must not be, or the citizens of the country must not be discriminated on any grounds. Even the women and children must not be discriminated too. Article 21 states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedures established by the law. Article 21 Clause A states that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all its children to the age of 14 years, 6 to 14 years of age, and they have made a policy that each and every child must be in the school, and if anyone is going to hire children, then they will be punished, my dear friends. Article 23 states that illegal trafficking of children is prohibited. If any child is trafficked and if they are going to use them as labor or if they are going to force them into begging, then they can be punished. So, this illegal trafficking of children is prohibited in the Indian society, and it is also a punishable act according to the law. Article 24 of the Indian Constitution says that no child below the age of 14 years should be employed, and the Government of India and the respective state governments have done a tremendous work to eradicate the child labor and put the children back into the school. The government started running the bridge schools so that the children can be brought to the mainstream of education, and people who could not complete their schooling, for them the government has gone for skill development programs to enhance the skills so that they can have a decent living and so on. The Constitution was amended as per the 86th Amendment Act, which was done in the year 2002. It talks about free and compulsory education as the fundamental right of the children. Now, let us discuss some of the directive principles which are meant for children. Article 39, Clause E and F provides the state that it shall, in particular, direct its policy towards securing to ensure that the health and strength of the workers, men and women, and the tender age of children are not abused. That means they must not be placed in the hazardous places. They must be given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and the conditions of freedom and to live the life with dignity. It also states that the childhood and youth should be protected against exploitation and against any moral and material abandonment. Article 45 states that the state should endeavor to provide early childhood care and education for all the children under the age of 6 years. Right now, the government is talking about turning the Anganwadi centers into pre-primary schools. Already they are working on that, but they want to change the curriculum and modify it so that the children can be benefited out of it. The next one is Article 47. As per this, the state shall regard the raising of the level of nutrition and standard of living of its people and improvement of public health as among its primary duties. We see that the Anganwadi centers are going to provide nutritious food to the children who are coming to the Anganwadis. At the same time, the children who are going to the schools, for them we have the midday meals and so on, which is going to increase their nutrition levels and the health conditions. Article 243 G along with Schedule 11 provides for institutionalization of child care by seeking to entrust programs for women and child development through panchayat. apart from education, welfare, health and sanitation and other items which are under the welfare for children. All this comes under directive principles. Now, let us discuss about child related legislations. There are certain legislations like we have advisory body for eliminating of corporal punishment in schools. There must not be any punishment because punishment may threaten the child and he or she may not grow intellectually. So, it has been banned. Beating or punishing the child is banned in the schools. Guidelines have been given for recording of evidence of vulnerable witness in criminal matters. We have standardized operating procedures in safeguarding the rights of children in contact with railways. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, which was passed in 2012. The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act of 2009. The Juvenile Justice Act 2000. The Child Labour Act of 1986. The Child Labour Amendment Act of 2016. Child Labour Amendment Act of 2006, Bonded Labour Act 1976, Factories Act 1948, Prenatal Diagnostic Technique Act of 1994. It says that because if you see in most of the remote areas, they are diagnosing, and if it is a girl child, they are going for abortions. So, abortion is not advised, it is illegal only on few conditions. If the child infant is not grown properly, fetus is not grown properly, only on the advice of the doctors there can be abortion, that too with before the 4 weeks of pregnancy, after the 4 weeks of pregnancy. So, we also have Persons with Disability Act of 1995, Prohibition with Disability Act and so on. There are plenty of acts which are meant for children. Now, let us discuss about the constitutional provisions which are meant for aged. Now, right now, lot of developed countries are facing the problem because majority of its population are dependent population. Either they must be below the age of 14 years or they must be the age of or above the age of 60 years. Majority of the population is above the age of 60 years. And it is the duty of the state to provide all the facilities so that they can have a decent living. So, the state shall provide for economical capacity and development by making provisions for securing the right to work, to education and to public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness and disablement, and in other cases of undeserved want. So, it is the duty of the state to provide all these facilities. So, according to Article 46, it provides for educational and economical interest. The state should promote with special care the educational and economical interest of the weaker section of the people, including the age old, my dear friends. Even the old people can also go for higher education even after 60 years. Recently, you must have read a news that a 72 years aged person has appeared in the NEET exam. It was his mother's desire. Because the system allowed him, he could appear in the NEET examination. Now, let us discuss the government protections meant for the older people. The government is providing or given approval for the national policy for older persons on January 13 in the year 1999. Its main duty is to empower the elder people because the joint families are being broken up into nuclear families and the children are reluctant to take care of the old age parents. So, for that it is the duty of the state to look after the welfare of the people. And recently the Supreme Court of India also made a statement saying that if the children are not taking care of the parents, then they need to provide maintenance. Even the parents are eligible for maintenance from their children, and the maintenance can be up to 10,000 rupees per month. So, the state for the poor people, it can provide pension for all the BPL families who are working in the unorganized sector. They can provide old age homes, they can provide resource centers for re-employment for the people. They can also provide concession in terms of rail, transportation and so on. They are getting 30 to 50% concession, and they also are going to see that they are going to have hospitals, free health facilities and so on, my dear friends. Now, let us discuss about the provisions which are meant for the disabled. We have Article 14, which is going to provide equality, equal opportunities. For Article 15, Article 25, it is going to provide convention for rights of persons with disability and so on, where they can get educated. So, these people are going to get a right in terms of education, in terms of work, in terms of expression, liberty and so on. So, we have reservation for these people in all these domains. If there is 3 vacancies in terms of physically disabled, 2 jobs are meant for visually challenged and 1 job is meant for the orthopedically challenged. Besides this, the government is providing pension for the people, for the disabled. They are going to give reservation if there are any employment opportunities in terms of STD booths or else public petrol bunks, gas agencies and so on, so that they can have a decent living. The government is also going to give concession in terms of taxes and so on. We have the Persons with Disability Act of 1955. It focuses on prevention of disabilities, like we have polio drops and so on. We are going to ensure that we have food on subsidized rate, which is going to ensure that the people are not disabled. Then if a person is disabled, we have rehabilitation measures. Then we also talk about women with disabilities, because there are chances that the mother can also give birth to disabled children, and we also talk about children with disabilities. They are going to take care of all these activities. So, till now we have studied about the provisions which are meant for disabled, for the old and the children. Thank you.